Hey, how we doing? Thanks for showing up. 2 Fridays in a row. Gonna have some fun today. College baseball opening day. So, a lot of cool things going on. Yo, what up? So, kind of right now, gonna wait for a couple more people to hop on. Was going to try to get Joe back on this week. He is with Coastal Carolina. They had opening day today, so a lot of college baseball today. Super exciting to get baseball back on TV. A lot of fun with that. So I don't know. Maybe we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll get somebody to come on, have another host, or invite somebody on as well. So got to watch a little bit of college baseball. For the people that don't know, my brother is actually the pitching coach and recruiting coordinator at Dayton. So they won their opening game today. Got a chance to watch a couple of other games, but again, super excited to see a bunch of guys out on TV. Been watching a little bit more softball too, as well. Trying to get a feel for one knee down in softball, how it's going. I know personal friend of the U, Catchers U tomorrow, is going to kick off her season behind the plate, Anna. So that'll be fun to get a chance to see her and everything like that. So appreciate everybody hopping on today. We're actually in our new little setup for when it goes to we're going to do our videos from. We got a banner sent to us from Marv Training. Okay, they've got a ton of different training tools that you can use. They've got plyo balls with actual seams on them. That's actually going to be our giveaway this year for our summer camp. So super excited about that. Also, behind me, C25. C25 balls are machine balls at different weights, so you can do different things. Summer camp, our big summer camp is going to be in Virginia. We're talking to a couple other places. We might be actually getting Catchers U out and around, but thanks for the question there. So super excited about everything that's going on. Continuing to kind of grow and get through the winter. We're starting up our third phase of our winter off-season program. A lot of catchers in our area, a lot of players in our area, they have high school tryouts, but a lot of the youth players aren't going to get started for another, 4 to 6 weeks. So we're also kind of doing our phases. So basically how we break our phases down with Catchers U, our first phase is all receiving, all blocking. We really kind of take our time, build our pass, build our movement patterns, build our technique. Second phase, we start incorporating more throwing, a lot more arm path work this year. Really enjoyed working arm path with our guys, developing plyo routines, hence the Marv training, while also still doing our receiving and blocking. And then the next level when it comes to phase 3, it's just a lot of game prep. So a lot of machine work, bullpen stuff, charting, kind of talking about the games, bunt plays, wild pitch recovery, taking throws from the outfield. So a lot of cool things like that. So thing I thought I'd talk about today, since a lot of people are starting to catch more and more bullpens, is a lot of times catchers, we go back there and it becomes a physical thing, right? We get back there, we're trying to catch our bullpens, and we're just there trying to get through it, trying to go. So one thing that I developed and I really like, it's a pitch breakdown. It's a bullpen report, and anyone can get this. You come to our website, it's right there. You can put your email in, get sent to you. Recently found out that you can also, it's a fillable PDF, so you can actually fill it out on your on a tablet or on your phone, so you can actually fill it in, so you don't even have to print it out. But what it is, okay, this pitch breakdown, okay, this bullpen report, it's just a way for you guys to be able to chart your pitchers and give yourself notes, not only your self notes, but also other people on your team or maybe in your showcase organization. So my goal with this was to be able for guys to put down their notes to help themselves out, but also let's say you're one of 3 catchers on a team, right? And you don't get to catch Johnny, you're catching Timmy, and you're struggling, and all of a sudden you have to catch Johnny, and you haven't caught many bullpens. To be able to have a binder, to be able to have a place where you can go look up notes about each pitcher, about what their pitchers do, I really think is a huge advantage to kind of go. Before we get kind of breaking down, okay, the hoodie, I've been getting a lot of questions about via DM, stuff like that. This is Sabermetrics. You can look them up on both Instagram and TikTok. But Sabermetric Baseball, this is their logo, so the seam head. Absolutely love the brand. Signed a brand ambassador deal with them, and couldn't be happier with everything they've given me. So I'll put that actually in the comments real quick if anybody wants to see. Check them out. Highly recommend it. They got some very swaggy stuff. So I'll just type it in. Sabermetrics. All right, cool. All right. So that's the seam head and everything like that. Super excited for people. Refound my beanie. Pretty sure my 5-year-old was wearing it and just didn't want to tell me. So working on this right here as far as the pitch breakdown and stuff like that. So you'll fill one of these out for every pitcher and also every pitch that they have. Okay, so like if we have, so the pitcher, let's just say is Jack. Okay, so you'd write, Jack at the top, right? And then it'd be pitch type. So you might put 4-seam, you may put 2-seam, all right? But let's just say we put 2-seam, okay? So we write 2-seam, okay? Now we know, all right? So now when we're on this, okay, is the movement. Arm side, so it says AS or GS. Is it arm side or is it glove side? So when they throw, is their ball, okay, moving, all right, on their arm, on their arm side or their glove side. So 2-seam, okay, that's going to go on the arm side, okay, say it's running into them. Okay, and then you're going to write CSR, cut, sink, run. All right, CSR, cut, sink, run. All right, and let's say, okay, it's running. Okay, so then I'm here. Okay, I do that. All right, if it's an off-speed pitch, let's say it's a slider or it's a curveball, okay, a breaking ball. Okay, let's say it's an off-speed pitch. You would put what rotation it has. So is it a 12-6? Right? Is it a gotta do the clock real quick. Is it a 9-3? Is it a slider, right? Stuff like that. So stuff like that, okay, where we have that, where we can do the clock. What's up, Chris? How we doing, man? All right, so you can kind of fill that in. So let's just say it's a 12-6, right? You can put that in, all right? And then plate location, which I like about this, especially when it comes to being in the being on the plate location. What I really, really like about this is, let's say, okay, it's arm side run, okay. Now I can just kind of make dots on how many he throws. So let's say in a bullpen, he throws, let's say 8 2-seams, right? And I can always write that too. But on that, all I do is I just say, okay, I'm here, right? So all I'm gonna do is I'm just going to kind of make a mark on where these balls miss. And then I can kind of take a look at it and say, okay, hey, I'm going in the middle of the plate. I'm going, it's missing over the zone. It's missing outside the zone. All right. Catcher dude, what's up, man? How we doing? And then you can give it a grade. All right. A pitch command of 1, 2, or 3. 1, okay, that's a pitch that we can throw whenever we want, how we want it. A 3, we don't have a lot of confidence, and a 2 is kind of like it's hit or miss. We don't really know. So you kind of circle that for that one. Receiving grade, all right. And this is what I love about this thing that we created was the receiving grade has one for the pitcher to grade you, and for you to grade yourself as a catcher. So what I like about this is, hey, how'd you think I caught your 2 seam? Hey man, I thought you were a 2. I thought I was a 1. Or I thought I was a 1 and I thought we were 3. Well, what didn't you like about how I was receiving this pitch? And it forces communication. And I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of us are scared to do is we're scared to communicate and talk to each other before it becomes an issue. So a lot of times when people, especially catchers, right? We tell catchers they gotta be leaders. They gotta be leaders. They gotta be leaders, right? You gotta take charge. You gotta take charge. And I think a lot of times that becomes people thinking that they gotta yell, they gotta scream, they gotta be the one that's ready to fight and stuff like that. A lot of times being a leader is just being a communicator, being somebody that can just talk just a little bit, right? And be able to talk all the time, not just when things break down, but before they break down, before you have anything, when things are going good, being able to create a communication process with each other. So what I mean by that communication process is, hey, how did you like me how I set up on like this? A lot of people are scared to ask those questions. They don't want to ask that question because they don't want to hear that so-and-so may not like the way they set up, or they may not like the way that you hold your glove. And at the end of the day, as much as we work with our catchers in our academy, getting them ready, getting them going, working machines and things of that nature, and working on their own personal movements, as soon as we add that other element to the game, which is our pitcher, and it becomes a bullpen, and it becomes a game, we now become in servitude of our pitcher, because our goal is to make our pitchers the best he can, the best they can be. Because if they're the best they can be, then our job gets pretty easy. If I'm back there working and I'm unwilling to help him, I then am not going to be the kind of leader my team's going to need me to be to get the most out of my pitching staff. And I think that is something that a lot of people miss is, hey, I need to do this, or I do this. This makes me comfortable. Okay. Normally, if you have a conversation, so you may say, hey, I like to catch with my left knee down. I really like that. I feel free. Well, all of a sudden now, my banner's going down behind me. But I may say, hey, I really like it with my left knee now. I feel comfortable. I can really get to it. Your pitcher may struggle not having something to throw at. His tunnel might be off, or his visual, he may want to see that knee up. He may want to have something to throw to when it goes to going to that side of the plate. Is it something that you guys can disagree on? Maybe. But at the end of the day, like, if you're not on the same page, then what are we going to do? How can we fix that? How can we get over that that aspect of our communication? So I really like the receiving grades because I just think it forces us to have contact, it's just communication between us, and sometimes uncomfortable communication. And that's where you've got to be able to tell stuff, to your pitcher, be like, hey man, I didn't think that pitch was, where you wanted it. We're calling a 4-seam on the, on your glove side, and you were right down the middle the whole time, or you were going, up with it. You couldn't get it down. What can I do to help you? And I think a lot of times if you start trying to work together, everybody just gets on the same page. And I joke about it all the time. One of the best pieces of advice my dad ever gave me as a coach was, hey, it's not always about being on the right page. It's way more important to be on the same page. So even if it's the wrong page, if everyone's on the same page, we got a lot of opportunity to have a lot of success. So that's one thing I would definitely say to you is just kind of do that. And then finally, I know it's hard to see or if you can't see it at all, but basically there's two more. There's receiving notes, things that you do, maybe your pre-pitch, right? Like, hey, I try this, I do this on the pre-pitch. This worked, this didn't work. I did this, I got thumbed. I didn't do this worked. I was able to bring it back through the zone. And then important coaching cues. And I think that's where you got to have your ears, right? You got to have your radar going as a catcher. Is you got to be listening to what coaches are telling your pitchers. Because if you're not paying attention to what coaches are telling the pitchers as far as their correctives, then at the end of the day, you're going to really struggle being able to come up with something quick to talk to your pitcher about that's going to help them kind of get back on the right thing. If you come up there and be like, hey man, you're not regurgitating what your coaches are saying to them when they're doing their bullpens or when they're getting their adjustments, it's going to be really hit or miss if that person is going to be able to even understand what you're talking about in that meeting. Because there's very rarely do we go out there and give mechanical advice in a bullpen or in a mound visit where the pitcher's like, oh, I'm absolutely locked in. Normally, if somebody's locked in, we're not going there very often. So, like I said, forced communication, in my opinion, is really good, and I think it's a must. Raychon _ Lewis, our camps. We're currently in Virginia. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to make some appearances all over the place. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, this is a good one. How do you feel about catchers getting batting practice taken away to warm up pitchers? Okay, so I think this is a really good question, and I think this is where that kind of service leadership thing that we just mentioned really comes into play. Normally, you're going to be asked as a catcher. That is the one position where multiple people are going to do their job, and you're going to have to stay for multiple people. In the infield, you'll get your ground ball work, you get your work done, and then all the infielders can go, and you can move on. Outfield, you can get your fungo work, you get your defensive work. Pitchers, you can throw your pen, and then the next pitcher's coming. Catchers are the ones that if you really want to impact your team and impact your culture, you do need to do a lot more than other people. And that may not seem fair, and the sacrifice has got to come somewhere. I don't like the idea of not getting your swings in. I don't think that should be the sacrifice. I don't think it should be, and I think that's, in my opinion, a lot of times piss poor planning by coaches and staffs that catchers are going to miss hitting so they can catch pens. I think that's just being lazy. I think there should be opportunities created throughout practice where catchers have the opportunity, okay? And especially now, because now pitchers aren't just getting out there, stretching a little bit, right, and then going out there and throwing, right? They have full routines. They have their stretching, okay? A lot of pitchers, it takes 30 to 45 minutes for them to get primed, long toss, and get ready. So what I would say is coaches need to be able to adjust and maybe do things different with their catchers than they do the rest of the team. So if it's a big bullpen day, the catchers get there while everyone else is stretching and getting their arms loose. That's when catchers are getting their full offensive practice in. They're getting their work, everything like that. They catch their bullpens, right? They do whatever defensive drills they do, and then maybe they finish practice with, hey, you guys got to go get your long toss in. You guys got to go get your throwing in, and that's going to be 15, 20 minutes. And I think that's a very simplistic approach to that, but I also know that that's something that you can do. The other thing is pitchers don't have to long toss with catchers to get loose. Okay, if you have two pitchers throwing that are going to long toss, all right, those guys can long toss with each other. Now, I came across kind of breaking that little tradition up because I had one catcher on the team, and we just couldn't do IO actually without him being there. So it kind of became this thing where he didn't necessarily have the strongest arm either, but what we were able to do was the starting pitcher and then normally like our first relief guy or, in a practice setting, the other guys that are throwing pens, they would stretch out, they would get, their long toss in. So in a practice setting, maybe that's when the guy would hit, our catcher would hit, or what have you. Or then we would get guys out there earlier and maybe delay practice. So let's say practice starts at 4:30 for everybody else. At 4 o'clock or 3:45, pitchers report at 3:45. They start all their pre-work, okay, their pre-arm carry. They do all that. They start long tossing, and then we've got to be able to start throwing pens at 4:30. And at 4:30, that's when the rest of the team comes down. They do their dynamic stretch. They get their arms loose, and then maybe we go into defensive period or something like that, and then the catchers can integrate as needed. I think that style works a lot for the high school where you have multiple two-way guys and stuff like that. I think timing becomes more of an issue via college just because you have so many pitchers that you have to get through. But most of these guys do that. And also there are, people that are bullpen catchers and things of that nature. But you need to catch your pens. And you got to find that you got to want to catch your pens. You got to want to be there. You got to want to learn about your staff, because the more that you want to be there, the more that you want that for your pitchers so that you can get better, the better it's going to make you, and the more opportunity you're going to have to help your team win. So what else we got here? How do you improve pop time? Okay. The cop-out answer, the easiest answer, get more physical, get more explosive. Okay, so when it comes to, by the way, again, another shout out, the Valley Gamer. We showed it off last week. Okay, pretty sick. Absolutely love what John and Jessica are doing over there at Valley. So got the gamer going, slowly breaking it in. Absolutely love it. But we'll talk about it. But as far as when it comes to the pop time, easiest thing, get bigger, get stronger, get more explosive. You'll move faster. If you move faster, obviously the ball will come out better. I like to focus on two major things when it comes to pop times. All right, getting the ball out early, all right, and being as efficient as possible. So arm strength, okay, and a baseball pop time on a normal 60-90 diamond, okay, it's going to be 5 miles an hour equals 1/10. So if I hop on there and I fire a ball down at 75 miles an hour, right, it's going to take me to throw that ball at 80 miles an hour for it to be a 10th difference. The problem is a lot of us, if we're trying to jump that 5 miles an hour, are going to take about 2, maybe 3/10 longer to get rid of that ball. So what I think a lot of people do is they don't necessarily understand that, so we get longer because we're trying to be more powerful. And I think that's where you kind of got to find that happy medium. I did a video earlier in the week. Like I said, we've got a lot of high school tryouts coming up. And with the high school tryouts coming up, I've got, we talk about staying calm. And I think what staying calm really means to a lot of people is you can't tense up, and you can't try to do more. Less effort, more execution. So if I can stay calm, right, and I can get to a good spot and understand that I'm ready to go and I'm in an athletic position. I personally think that where my best reception spot, right, my best receiving, right, where if I was going to stick that ball or that ball's going to come to me, that's also my best transfer point. So my best receiving point and my best transfer point are all kind of in the same spot. So there's a couple things, okay? Number one, okay, as that ball's coming, if I get a really good throw, I get a really good thing is when that ball comes, okay, is when that ball comes to me, I can just turn my glove just a little bit just to make it easier for me to go. And I like to say roll and flick. I like to say roll the glove and then flick the wrist back out to get myself online. A lot of guys, a lot of catchers especially, they'll think about taking the ball to the ear, but the problem is they get stuck. They look like a quarterback. They got both hands by their ear. And what ends up happening a lot is because I'm in this situation, what ends up happening is that I rotate and now I don't get as much through the throw as I can. So, but if I just have a little bit of space, and now I can be online, now I can kind of drive that ball, okay? I can drive that ball towards second base. So understanding the little differences, the little things about, hey, when that ball comes, right, I can get to that spot, I get here, I can get online quick, and then drive that ball. I think that makes a huge difference when it comes to your pop times. All right. Okay, what type of, another good question. What type of coaching do you think is most effective? Do you think louder is better for coaching? All right. I was told this once. I don't think this person actually follows these guidelines, but I still think it's absolutely awesome advice. Is basically you yell as a coach for 3 reasons. All right, and one's logistical. Okay, so one's logistical. The second reason is you're frustrated, and your third reason is lack of knowledge. You don't have anything else to do, so that's why you yell. And I think if you understand that as a coach where, hey, you know, you're just yelling to yell or you're yelling to make a statement, you're not teaching in that moment, you're not correcting in that moment, you're not going. Now, I'm not saying there ain't some times where you got to let it fly a little bit and get into people. That it is a tool. Okay, when you yell and you scream, all right, and you elevate your voice and you elevate your intensity towards your players, that is a tool. And you can use that tool however you want. But the more you use that tool, the less effective it's going to be every time you use it. So, you know, I really feel that if I'm going to yell, I got to get my money's worth and I got to make sure that I'm driving home a point. But if I just yell every time something goes wrong, I'm going to lose that ability to have that tool. Because that tool is a motivational tool. That is something that can help you. But you have to be always coaching, always teaching, always pushing for that to work. And you also got to earn the credibility of your players. And I think a lot of times coaches just automatically assume that their players respect them. That's not the case. All right? And you can say, oh, kids are different, blah, 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 whatever. Look, there's a difference between, okay, maybe kids nowadays are a little bit more, they voice their opinions a little bit more when it comes to how they feel like you're treating them and stuff like that. But for the most part, okay, even back in the old school days where no one said anything and no one talked or no one did any of that, they just didn't like the coach. They just did what they said, but they kept it to themselves or they talked trash in the locker room, whatever. So the difference is coaches now maybe hear the frustration of a player, whereas before they didn't, and so maybe they didn't think it was happening. So if you want to rule with intimidation versus motivation, then you got to understand that, and you can't want to be liked. You can't know, you got to know that it's not going to be the case. When I coach, I am an intense individual. I'm an intense coach. I demand a lot. I hold people accountable, but I do hope that I try to do more teaching and instructing, and I try to do more motivating, because if I'm intimidating my players, then in my opinion, that means I've lost them. Okay. All right. So we go a couple questions about how do I improve blocking? How do I improve blocking? A lot of people want to know how to improve blocking. All right, number one thing, you got to stretch. You got to hydrate. A lot of you go out there and you want to just go get hit by these balls and be like, all right, I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better. Most of the time, our issues are we're not flexible enough. Our movement patterns are too big so that we actually have to anticipate a ball being in the dirt versus reacting to a ball in the dirt. And let's talk about that real quick. The difference between anticipation and reaction. Anticipation, all right, means I'm cheating to that. So I got to cheat the block. Problem is, as soon as I start cheating the block, now I don't become a good receiver. So when that pitcher's when I'm runners are on base or 2 strikes and I got to block, right? Now I'm not as good of a receiver because I'm more worried about blocking than I am receiving. So with that being said, we've got to understand that and understand that we've got to be flexible enough and simple enough in our blocking motions that we can react and we can do it late and we can still keep that ball in front of us and control it. Okay? So what I would say is hip mobility and hydration. Okay? The looser you are, the more nimble you are, okay, the more you're going to be able to manipulate your body in a competitive setting to allow you to have success at full speed versus that's why a lot of people are really good in drills and they can't pull the trigger in the game is because in drills they know they're going to block so they can kind of cheat, they can kind of anticipate, where in the game their pitcher's going money, all of a sudden one in the dirt, I go up to go down because I tense up because I'm not flexible, I'm not in a good position, I can't keep that ball in front. So that's one thing I would say about that. Hey Levi, how we doing, man? You doing good, buddy? All right, there we go. Let's go elaborate on the importance of having a good relationship with the home umpire. I think it's really important, depending on how old you are and what age you're at, being able to carry a conversation. I think it just helps you with your tempo and your vibe of the game. Some umpires want to make friends. Some umpires just want to do their job. Some umpires don't want to be talked to at all with you. So you kind of figuring that out, kind of finding that vibe and kind of finding that tempo. The more you can chat up an umpire, I think the better it's going to be for your team because they'll give away information. So if I'm moving and I'm talking and I'm being respectful and we're going back and forth and it's a good conversation, he may say something like, hey, you get around that a little bit more, I'll give it to you, or hey, you bring that up a little bit, I'll give it to you, or hey, I'm this, or hey, and if you pay attention to it, you can take advantage of it and then really start kind of utilizing that information in those conversations to your team and your own and your team's advantage. Okay, good warm-up routine. Okay, I would say one warm-up routine that we actually have these pre-game bags. I wish I had one in front of me where I could kind of just walk you through what we have with our pre-game bags. But we have we do some different things. One thing that we do have is HECOstix, and I absolutely love the HECOstix. I think it's an eye-hand coordination tool that really can play a vital role in getting you loose, especially as a catcher, because a lot of times we don't necessarily utilize our eye. And just like that, by the way, boom. Okay, we have one of our pre-game bags. You can get one of these on our website. Mrs. Catcher's U just ran by and got it done. But so this is a HECOstix. Okay, absolutely love these HECOstix. I think they're great, and I really like them, especially for catchers too, because there's a lot of things that you can do when it comes to kind of working on utilizing your pocket and your web. Okay, the pocket and the web. So you can do some drills where you kind of drop. You can work on getting it on target, calling out colors. A lot of good things that you can do before a game. Like I said, get your eyes going, get your body moving, and a couple different drills that you can do that. If you go through some of our past videos, you'll see we utilize these a lot. Lacrosse ball, okay, depending on where you are, you can do some receiving drills on the back of a dugout. You can use it to roll out. You can do some short hop drills. You can do some work where you can get through. Another really good opportunity for you. We've got some receiving disc, okay? Work on, again, eye-hand coordination, getting your, grabbing these, working on getting to a presentation, okay? You can flip them in the air. You can roll them on the ground. You can bounce them. You can do a bunch of different things. Again, don't take up a lot of space. But again, just something to get you to kind of find your rhythm and kind of find your tempo. These two, we had these padded All-Stars things on there for your wrist. Say you want to get some blocking work before the game, you don't want to have any new bruises, you can throw these bad boys on and get after it. And then finally, one that everyone loves is our web glove. Okay, the web glove that we like to use too. Okay, they're awesome. Okay, and what you want to do with the web glove, one thing about the web glove, when you see it online, okay, you're going to see people put it on their pointer finger and their thumb, and they're going to work this. So I don't want to stretch it out too much. Okay, but basically, I'm going to be like this. One thing that I've talked to a couple guys, actually one pro guy in particular, Rob Brantley, because a lot of us, when we make our catching motion, we actually close with our middle finger and our thumb. So that's actually where we want to go with this. We want to have our middle finger and thumb on so that it's going to be more like when we close our hand in our glove. So I think that to me is something that's super important. When we go and we're able to go, it's just going to be more realistic. And you can get a golf ball. You can actually throw the discs. They'll fit when you catch them. Okay, ping pong ball, stuff like that you can do. But a lot of cool drills that you can do. Just kind of get yourself right, get yourself ready to go. Like I said, the HECOstix to me is a tool that a lot of catchers should utilize more. We do a lot with them, and we absolutely love them. But like I said, if this is something that you're interested in, you can literally get this from our website. I think we've got a couple more available, but you get the full bag, everything like that. We ship it to you, and then it's ready to go. So you can just go to our website, go to our store, and you'll see the pregame training bag. So yeah, highly recommended. All right, so what else we got? Yeah, no problem, Cam. All right. Cool. Well, I know a lot of you have probably got a lot of stuff going on tonight, but I really appreciate everybody hopping on and watching this and everything. Like I said, the gear, Sabermetrics, absolutely love it. Okay. We've got stuff going on with Valley. We got the pregame training bag. You got the Bullpen Report. Remember, the Bullpen Report is free. You just sign up, put your email in, we'll send it right to you. And then we got some pretty cool stuff coming up. Maybe a couple new partnerships coming up, which will be fun. We've got some maybe TikTok collabs coming on with some funnier individuals in the baseball TikTok world. So we're going to have some fun with some videos coming up. We're going to get after it, continue to provide you guys with content, entertainment. But like I said, please comment on our videos, shoot us likes and stuff like that. But when you comment on our videos, ask us tell us what you want to see more of. We do everything that we can to help you guys out, to give you everything, all the information that you need, and make your experience behind the plate as best as possible. So go ahead, hop back on there, go watch some college baseball, watch some college softball, have a great weekend. And like I said, next week we'll be on live again at 9, and I will make sure I set up a guest for next week. Like I said, normally, if you want to sign up, real quick, if you want to sign up for a camp, okay, go to catchersu.com. All right, and there's still some spots available in Phase 3, not many, but you can sign up for Phase 3, and then there's other training opportunities that we'll have coming up via spring break. We're gonna have a ton of one-day clinics, so maybe you're somebody who lives far away, you want to come in for a couple hours, see what we're about, and then head out. We can. Mi hablo poquito español. Mi esposa eres Puerto Rican. Familia San German. So speak a little bit of Spanish, not too much. So sometimes when I get DMs that are solamente Espanol, I struggle. So I'm not ignoring you. I just I just need to translate and stuff like that. But like I said, I hope everyone has a great night, and I will talk to everybody hopefully soon, and keep working up. So like I said, next week 9 o'clock again. We'll make sure we put something out, set a reminder. But have a good weekend, and I'll see everybody next week on live. All right, guys. You guys have a great day, and enjoy your time. All right. See you later.